Hello, my name is Sami. Welcome. I don't usually do tutorials, but I recently found out how to do something that was like honestly so easy that I was shocked there weren't more resources, I guess, on YouTube and around. So I don't know, I decided to come on here and make it really quick. This is a method that I found worked, that I kind of like reversed engineered from a brush pack that I had to buy. But you know, if there are other resources out there, please let me know or comment them, or I don't know, make it known, man, I couldn't find them. Regardless, braid brushes. Let's get into it. Obviously, there are very different types of braids, and it's kind of based on what your preference is and what you want to do. But for today, I'm just going to kind of do a very general braid. The reason I'm trying to make this brush is because I have a brush pack that is amazing. I'll put that link in the description and all the information and everything you need, and maybe go into it even a little further at the end of this video. But there was one particular braid that I was personally looking for that I wanted to match my style of art that I obviously wasn't able to get in a pre-established brush pack. So that's what we're doing today. We're just making that. To be clear, I don't know the proper terms of everything, but I'm gonna just try my best. My technical vocabulary is limited, but I'm trying to put you on game, so just stick with me. Okay, here we are in my Procreate. I'm going to go ahead and make a new canvas. I already have it made, but just for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and make it again. I made it 12,000 DPI just because in my experience of Procreate, if you take something on Procreate, yes, it's going to be fuzzy when you scale it up, of course. I don't know if you can see the difference, but if we revert it real quick, the line quality is slightly different there than it is right now here as it's scaled up. However, in my experience as well, if I scale something down, you're going to see the pixels. That's not necessarily a problem, but it is just something to keep in mind, just because Procreate is a pixel-based software, so you just want to make sure that everything is already set up for it to be the most pixels that it can possibly be. Once again, I don't know the technical terms for things, so this might be like, this logic might be faulty. It might not work this way for brushes. I don't know, but that's my logic. Moving on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this background black. First thing, we're gonna make the brush white because we're going to be drawing on the inverse. Now I'm just going to make a braid, and it can be sloppy at first. It's no problem. This is just kind of a pattern that I'm going to go through. I'm gonna bring the opacity down. Basically, this brush is a reoccurring pattern. We're just going to try to make a shape that is going to fit into itself when repeated. So if I take out this pattern right here and bring this down, you can see that it doesn't exactly fit right in itself. Let me turn magnetics off because that line could get annoying, and it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. So that first little section that we drew, I'm gonna scooch it up so that I can kind of outline just the bottom. Mind you, get the shape the way that you want it to be. Don't go outlining the bottom of a shape that you're like, ah, I hate this, because then you're gonna want to change it later. But trust me, it also doesn't have to be perfect. So in theory, the bottom and top of the shape fit into each other pretty much perfectly. I'm going to just make mine a little smoother on top and bottom. So for me, the braid I was looking for was for it to be partially filled in, but then to have a little bit of texture on either side, like you can see the fibers of the hair being put into the braid. I just want the texture because most likely this is going to be so small that all you're going to get is the feeling of that looks like something, you know, like just the noise is what I'm looking for. I'm gonna put a little butt crack there because it's a braid and braids have that, and go along on this side too. So we have this here. If I don't like it, you know, it is what it is as of right now, because this is not the completed version. We're gonna flip this over sideways. We're gonna save it as a PNG. I'm saving it to my files in Procreate. I have multiple untitled artwork, so I'm gonna keep both. Regardless, we're gonna come up here. Most likely, you're not going to have braid brushes to start with. My studio pen, I kind of mess with the settings, but the overall structure of the pen is the same, so hopefully it's not too different on your Procreate as it is on mine. So we're gonna go here in shape. We're going to edit this shape. We're gonna import the file we just made. As you can see, I made a lot of these braids already, but I know that this one was made today because obviously it's dated. I'm going to continue into done because I'm done. And I'm gonna go back over here. As you can see, it basically looks like the same brush. I'm gonna go to spacing and you can already see the shape taking place. Now, the spacing right now doesn't quite matter because I need to go back to shape and I need to rotate it. So I'm rotating until pretty much the end. I'm gonna go back to stroke path and I'm going to make the spacing just a tidge closer. Up to your preference at this point. Do you want it to be a really tight braid? Do you want it to have that little space? That might be part of your style. Do you want it to be like super tight? It's up to you. If you see a little bit of, you know, something, go ahead and go back to that rotate. You can make it how you want it. I don't know what any of this means, but if you need to see it, you need to see it. This as well. If you need to see it, you need to see it. I do think, that count is going to make it more or less detailed. So that's on 1 for me. Outside of that, color dynamics I think are all the same because it's just going to be whatever color you choose for it to be. Size, there we go. I don't know, once again, I don't know if you need to see this, but here I'm showing it to you. The one thing that I do want to be mindful of right over here is orient to screen. So if I click done right now, you see how this is perfect here. It's a braid, it's a tight braid, like look at it. If I click done, if I come over here and I'm trying to, like, let me get this, let me turn it around, maybe, okay, let me, what? You don't want that. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna go back into here, you're gonna go back into the settings, you're going to stop that from happening, and you're going to have a braid that it doesn't matter where you turn the canvas, it's gonna be good. The tutorial part is basically done. That's it, you're good. You can do different hairstyles with this or different hair strands. You can make a twist. You can do a more detailed braid, but basically the concept is the same. So I've made a couple of brushes already using this method in my little Sami hairbrush. So here's the brush that we made today. These are a couple that I made yesterday. This is a twist. You can see that it has a little tiny little bit of detail. And this over here is a different twist. Less scritchy scratch, more solid. Yeah, that's kind of pretty much what I did. I did a version here that's just the shape, and I did a version here that's a monoline. And so no matter where I put the thing, it won't have any variation. But yeah, like I said, it's kind of just up to you. This is just a very basic tutorial of how you could go about this, and then, you know, to your heart's content, do whatever you want, whatever you need. Okay, here's my lady. I'm gonna like map out how I would want her hair to look. So obviously it's gonna be coming from the root of her head, the braids, I mean. And you don't have to be as systematic as this. Like, you can just have it coming out of her head from nowhere. It doesn't matter at all. The brush that we made today. So I'm going to just make the brush as big as it can be because I made the like sections kind of big, and I'm kind of just going to put them where I want them to be. I want this front piece to overlap this piece that I just drew. I'm going to make new layers for everything that overlaps. As you can see right now, it looks wild, but we're not gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna bring the opacity down so I can obviously erase whatever's overlapping where I don't want it to overlap. I'm just gonna go in and like fill in these gaps here just with a little scritches. I'm gonna erase this a little bit and see if I can just take my little brush, go back to the other brush for touch-ups. And then for the roots over here, erase where I don't like something, basically. And then I'm gonna go underneath and make my little parting that I already mapped out. And then if you've ever seen a braid, to connect it, I'm going to just make it look like, I personally don't care about hair looking like it's coming from the scalp because I want it to look like braiding hair. A little heart at the end. Because obviously in life, every braid doesn't look exactly the same. And so if you want it to look different, it definitely can be done easily with just even a few strokes here and there. I'm just going to go in with a textured brush because that's personally what I like. You can go in with any sort of brush, but I'm just using, let's see, I'm using Ink Bleed from Procreate. Pretty sure that's just a regular Procreate brush. Swoops. You're like, oh, she has like beads at the end of her hair here. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? This is the final product. This is our girl. So this is all I have for you. If you like this video, if it helped you, please like, share, and subscribe. If you end up trying this method out and it works for you, let me know what brushes that you're able to make. Let me know what different braids you're able to do. I think that would be so cool to just like have a resource of all these different things. If you don't want to do that and you're like, you know what, this looks cool and all, but where's that brush back that you keep mentioning that's already made? Like I said, I got you. That's in the description. And thank you for watching until the end, and see you in the next one. Bye!